From the era of the bold and handsome men and the very bold and very beautiful women, the Rajputs couldn't have gotten bigger, better and pinker. So I take you through the journey of the pink city of Jaipur. So come along with me and enjoy. Rajput identifies numerous Shastriya or warrior castes in northern and western India. The term Rajput comes from the Rajputara, which means son of kings. Rajputs are framed from their fighting abilities and once ruled numerous Indian princely states. The British grouped many of these states into Rajputana province. About 120 million people in India call themselves Rajputs and they live throughout northern India, although Rajasthan is considered their cultural homeland. Understanding the Rajputs and their feudal society is not easy. When Rajasthan was still feudal, Jaipur was its most flamboyant and colourful city. The Kachwaha rulers, the most glamorous of all princes. Thanks to their amazing ability of adapting to historical change, their foresight and their flair for preserving and publicizing remains till date. And this very beautiful place around me is the Angan. Well, now in the modern times, we only get to witness this beautiful place in Bollywood movies and Shadi and Sangeet areas. But this was basically the beautiful place where the Rajas and the Rajput Maharajas used to witness the very elegant folk dances and puppet shows. The Angan. In Rajput homes, men quarters consists of a courtyard containing of a platform about 4 to 6 feet high. Reached by a series of steps, often shaded by trees, men often rather gathered on these platforms to chat and perhaps smoke the hookah and watch the puppet shows and folk dances. At one end of the platform is the roof porch. Men usually sleep behind this porch. Smaller side rooms are used for storage. Wow, isn't this just beautiful? And more than beautiful, isn't this just extraordinary? Well, this is, oops, I forgot to tell you, the Sheesh Mahal. This is basically where the Rajas and the Maharajas used to sip their liquor in a gathering of more than 15 men at a time. Well, what made this place more interesting is that whoever said it right. Rajasthani artifacts are a sight to behold. Behind me is this beautiful and completely different architectural piece which I'm going to introduce to you. Well, come a little closer and find out. The stonework is something that was like walking on the red carpet, forcing one to look and admire. The Havelis were the residence of wealthy merchants who had a fancy for beauty and art. 9 months in a year, they lived in far-off lands to earn money and then came back to the city to rest and enjoy and build Havelis and live in them. Show their wealth and status and their love and fascination for architecture and colors. The oldest Haveli, that is this one, is perhaps 400 years old, but most of them are hundreds of years in age. That is why they indicate a pattern of their own, the charm that each one has, and everyone who happens to see them gets it. I know it's a saying, but don't they just say it right? कहते हैं ना, राजपूत जो भी करते हैं, जहाँ पे भी जाते हैं, अपना नाम और काम छोड़ जाते हैं. Well, I think this is the perfect example. Well, this clean hand-painted piece was built and drawn tons of years ago, but it's as fresh as a morning daisy. Coming to the cultural heritage of the Rajputs, India's Rajput heritage is completely vibrant. Rajputs are seen as champions of the Hindu Dharma or the faith. They have left a strong mark on India, particularly in Rajasthan. Members of the Bhatt caste keep family records and can trace the Rajput genealogy to the clans of mythical ancestors. Members of the Charan caste record deeds and accomplishments of the Rajput rulers. Rajput courts were centers of culture where literature, music, dance, painting and sculpture flourished with support of the Rajput elite.
Well, this beautiful pink building just couldn't have gotten bigger and pinker. Yes, right, this is the famous Hawa Mahal made by Maharaja Pratap Singh with a cross ventilation of 365 windows for his beautiful Rani in the pink city of Jaipur.
The splendid Rajputana architecture of the Hawa Mahal still speaks the glory of the royal family. However, one can also find the glimpse of the Mughal architecture, which is blended perfectly to make it different from the others. The literal meaning of the Hawa Mahal is the Palace of Winds. The Hawa Mahal was built by Maharaja Savai Pratap Singh in 1799. The Hawa Mahal is a pyramid-shaped facade with 5 stories. It has 395 small windows decorated with a tiny lattice work. These pink sandstone windows are commonly known as jharokas. As a matter of fact, the Hawa Mahal is believed to be built for the women of the royal families, since they have to observe a strict parda, that is the cover. The small windows are screened balconies that serve the women to watch processions and different activities taking place on the streets. In this manner, the women could enjoy the sense of freedom without showing themselves. Early morning is considered to be the best time to visit the palace, when it is drenched in the golden light of the sun. At this time, the Hawa Mahal appears incredible, and one cannot possibly describe the beauty of the palace in words.
So, sir, tell us about the Rajput community in today's modern times.
Well, that's a very general question. I mean, it's a very ancient family and a community, and I think their legacy in history has been very exemplary. They've contributed a lot towards the freedom of the country in the past.
Right.
Well, so basically, from Vedic times, it has been the responsibility of the Rajput community to make sure that they keep the evil out of the social structure.
So, they say being a Rajput is not a very easy job, compared to the other, social connections that we have in India. The Rajputs are the most royal ones. So we have it, the name of the Rajput comes out to be the Royal Rajputs. Do you feel that culture plays a very important role in that?
Cultural values play a very important role in
Such as?
Values play a very important role in people's lives. Because people live by their values, they live by the sanskars that they have genetically imbibed and been trying to emulate from their fathers, forefathers and ancestors. Because this is an ancient community and our legacies go back many, many years and many generations. So it's not a new family or
something
the more difficult part as far as the Rajputs is concerned is not the strength of their past,
right,
but the ability to move into the contemporary world of today and the future. That rigidity has to be converted into dynamism where you are able to become relevant in the real world of today. So that, as far as the Rajputs are concerned, is perhaps more difficult than imbibing the old cultural values.
So, in today's days, we're very fond of marriages. You see, all movies, all films are full of marriages, and the Rajput marriage is supposed to be the most customary evidence of a perfect, rich, royal marriage. How much do you agree with that?
I agree with it simply because every ritual has a significance.
Such as?
all the marriage ceremonies have a significance. And today, everybody is taking shortcuts.
Right.
And which means that you might as well go to a registrar's office and get married, because the whole business has now been abridged and condensed. Rituals which are meaningful have lost their place because nobody has the time to go through with it, and to an extent I might disagree with it, but at the same time there is nothing which is without a meaning, and I think it is very important for a young couple who is starting a new life to understand what they are getting into.